Europe's economic troubles have been steadily changing the bloc's political landscape. If before Liberals played the role of kingmaker in the European Parliament, times are now changing, with Euro-sceptics fast closing the gap. 6 months before the next European elections, Laura Smith weighs the precarious balance between right and left.
There won't have been many meetings in London this year where British membership of the European Union was met with a huge round of applause. But that's what happened here at the Congress of the Alliance of Liberals and Democrats for Europe. They reckon they're still in demand, but opinion polls and elections throughout the EU tell a different story. In fact, the continent appears to have made a significant lurch to the right, with new parties emerging all over the place. Populists this new lot may be, but their hostility towards immigration, austerity and the very idea of the EU has rattled the mainstream parties enough to cause them to step to the right too. You've only got to look to David Cameron's Conservatives for an example of that. So are the Liberals dying a slow death? I asked Sir Graham Watson, MEP, President of the ALDE Alliance.
It is important that there is a party prepared to stand up to the far right when so many are simply moving onto their ground in the hope of recovering lost votes. The Euro-scepticism exists. We see it in opinion polls. We see it in people's attitudes. What we have to convince people is that the European Union brings us a lot of benefits, but needs reform if it is to continue to bring us those benefits.
Committed to the race then, but certainly swimming against the tide. Europe-wide, the Liberals have just 6 months before the European elections to convince a sceptical public that further EU integration is a good thing. Meanwhile, the right will be working just as hard. Here in Britain, separatist UKIP's Nigel Farage is talking about a landslide victory as if it's practically in the bag.